Welcome everyone to Hoopsfest. It's the second night as the Sydney Flames take on the Adelaide Lightning at Bendat Basketball Center. I'm John Kwarna, and I am joined in commentary tonight by Jacinta Govin. Jacinta, we're seeing the Lightning for the first time tonight. Sydney had a matchup last night. Didn't necessarily work out the way they wanted to, but lots of talent going to be on the court tonight, and we're looking at the Sydney Flames. Piper Anderson, a player to keep an eye on here in this one.
Yeah, certainly is. She had 26 points for the Future Flames, or the Sydney Flames, here at Hoopsfest. That included 5 triples, so not a bad day at the office for Piper Anderson, showcasing her talents at this level. Also backed up by Carla Pittman, who had 14 points versus Perth. They only lost to Perth by 6 points, 69-63 yesterday, so pretty solid effort. But according to the post-game press conference with Coach Garlop, they really had to pull it together in the final 3 quarters to make it a competition.
Piper Anderson, player to keep an eye on. You see her on screen there. That was 26 points and 5 3-pointers. Comes from a talented family and really looking to establish herself in the Sydney Flames group.
Yeah, I think she arguably as well had what we would call a breakout season in the NBL 1 East competition, playing for the Sydney Comets. Piper's always been a name in the Youth League competition in New South Wales. Last year also playing NBL 1, but this season really having a bigger role for the Comets. And it's great to see that that's transferred now in the Flames team.
First time we're going to get to see the Adelaide Lightning. First time we've seen these jerseys, and they look fantastic. I'm really excited to see them. Couple familiar names, but one name really jumps out at us. Izzy Borlase continues to roll on. She is an uber talent, had a great summer, or at least the Northern Hemisphere summer, and she's looking to carry that momentum into this WNBL season.
Oh, absolutely. It was such a thrill to say that we had a 19-year-old in the Opal squad at the Olympics, being able to hold her own as well and contribute to getting that bronze medal for the Opals. And there she is on screen now, but I imagine that she's still just as down-to-earth as ever, and I'm sure she's not letting all of that get the best of her here. She's back in the Adelaide colours, back for her home team, and I'm sure she's ready to fire up here at Hoopsfest. And
a really strong group the Adelaide Lightning bring to Hoopsfest, led by Borlase, but a lot of talent across the board.
Yeah, definitely, and some really, really great additions. As we see there on screen was Hayley Andrews, who's had a successful college career for Portland, and her first season in Australia with NBL 1 North with the Sunshine Coast Phoenix. So really nice that she had an early pickup here with Adelaide, as well as Jess Simons, another local. She's back for Adelaide Lightning. And new pickups in Ella Gordon and Georgia Pinot. Doesn't look like they're going to be suiting up though for the Lightning, but they'll still have Maddie Freer as well, who's a new signing for Lightning. Her mum Deb, known as Deb Giles, was part of the three-peat Adelaide Lightning team in the 90s. So another basketball pedigree in this group.
The family tradition carries on, and I want to say again, those jerseys look fantastic on screen. Love to see those in person. Really key matchup, though, and we talked a bit about it last night, Jacinta. Teams taking different approaches. The Sydney Flames coming in again with a young group. Similarly with the Adelaide Lightning. What are you expecting in the matchup here tonight?
Well, I guess the plus side of this matchup for Adelaide is that it is most of their confirmed roster for the season. So at least we'll get to see them as close to, or at least in final preparations for the WNBL season. Whereas, as we know, Sydney have brought their Future Flames group with them. And for those that don't know, the Future Flames program was something that was created by Coach Garlop in collaboration with Hoops Capital. And the idea is just to try and target those female athletes who have finished 18s, may not go to college, wants to get to WNBL. So that kind of in-between group to give them a taste of the WNBL.
Well, jump ball is up, and it is controlled by Adelaide. We're underway on night 2 of Hoopsfest out in Perth, Western Australia. Adelaide getting that first look and turning it over, not the start they were looking for. How much of an advantage do you think it is for Sydney to have played last night, where Adelaide getting together for the first time tonight?
Yeah, I think having a game day experience, I mean, they've trained a lot together, but having a game day experience is a massive advantage. I mean, a lot of these Adelaide players are very well experienced themselves, but Piper Anderson's getting hot early.
Picking up where she left off last night, starting 5, Lily Austin, Piper Anderson, Maddie Delmeda. Carla Pittman and Ella Liasuasu for the Sydney Flames. You see Adelaide going inside, and a strong finish for Izzy Bourne, plus the foul. She's in the starting lineup for the Adelaide Lightning, along with Izzy Borlase, Maddie Freer, Brooke Basham, and Haley Andrews. Pretty hot start for both teams. Adelaide, after turning it over, gets a three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, and Izzy Bourne here on screen is the reigning NBL 1 South MVP, and she had her debut WNBL season last year. She has just taken to this league after her college career so easily, so it's great to see her back on court for Adelaide too.
Yeah, another really impressive player for Adelaide, and this Lightning group is going to look to continue some hot play. First possession was a tough one for Adelaide. Defensively, though, they get a stop on this one. And you see Adelaide looking to run early. Left-hand layup is good, and the foul. What a finish there for Adelaide.
Well, yeah, that's just a classic Izzy Borlase move. When she gets going on transition, she's very hard to stop, not just because of her speed, but because of her agility too. She loves a Euro step, and she can certainly finish under a lot of pressure, as we see here.
In the Euro step, you see people doing it at a different pace. Borlase went with a pretty methodical one on that one. She completes the three-point play. Adelaide with a 2-point lead early, and you see right away Adelaide wants to get out and run. Sydney much more methodical so far to start this one in the half court. They turn it over. Pushing up court, and you see, again, another Euro step. This one missed for Basham. Now Sydney attacking the other way. Quick catch and shoot three is short. Pace is pretty frantic to start.
Yeah, I think I really like the pace of this so far, but looks like the future Flames may need to focus on their D-trans a little bit there, because that's a bit too easy there for Izzy Bourne.
Bourne she's got 5 of the 7 points for the Lightning, and another turnover for the Flames. Not the start that Coach Renee Garlip was looking for from her group.
No, and I think they also, Coach Garlip also kind of implied in that post-game press conference that she wasn't very happy with how well they were organised or executing and making little mistakes in the first quarter. I imagine that they'll have to lock down on D to keep this game competitive.
Let's see what Adelaide can do. They go inside to Bourne, and why not? She's on fire.
Gosh, she's just having her way with everything at the moment.
Yeah, Sydney is going to have to make some sort of adjustment. Easier said than done. Maybe put her under pressure on the offensive end. Sydney draws a foul. Good drive there from Martin, drawing the contact.
Yeah, I think this is also going to be a good lesson for the Flames, not to panic too early. They are down by 6. Adelaide have had a few easy scores, but the Flames have got to try and keep their composure and stick to the game plan as well.
Didn't see who that one went on. I think it might have gone on Andrews. It's the first team foul for Adelaide. Good defense. Adelaide very active defensively. Nice drive, a little too deep under the basket for Phillips. She gets called for the travel. Turnovers hurting Sydney here in the first few minutes. Jump shot short. Long rebound, rolls back out to Andrews. Basham takes the screen, gets into the paint, and lays it home. Too easy for Adelaide.
Way too easy. And Basham herself, also an MVP recipient in NBL 1 Central. But yeah, just way too easy. Adelaide have been able to get 2 feet in the paint nearly every single possession. So the Flames really need to start locking that down.
Good take there from Martin. I like the response, just attacking right away off of a made basket. But Sydney really has to tighten up defensively. It's been too easy for Adelaide here early. Yeah,
Coach Garlip won't be happy with that, because she really focuses on having a team that are strong and take pride in their defense. So I imagine she'd be quite frustrated. But Caitlin Martin here, she was one of the DPs for the Sydney Flames last year. While she's still so young, she'll probably have to start leading this team and probably setting the tone a little bit more.
Greiger's out there for Adelaide. Bourne firing from deep off the back of the rim. Long rebound chased down. Pittman. Well read by Bourne. Adelaide has numbers. Nice early kick. They swing it. Good read. Basham swings it out. Three-pointers up for Greiger. No good. Martin spins. She sees the lane. Good kick. Corner three is up for Pittman and in. That's nice basketball there from Sydney.
Yeah, that's a much better action, and credit there to Martin. On the catch, you just noticed that her defender was overplaying a little bit, so she didn't use the screen, used that wide open lane and found Pittman.
How about the response, though, from Borlase there?
Yeah, I mean, we know that she can shoot the three, but perhaps doesn't get that those opportunities so early in a game for Izzy Borlase.
Quick shot from Sydney. Let's see if Borlase can make him pay. She missed the left-hand layup, but is fouled. She'll get to the line for a couple shots.
That's kind of the more Izzy Borlase game that we're used to seeing, especially, you know, in the first quarter. Getting out, running. Probably an unconventional miss from her, but again, future Flames, the Flames are just struggling with that defensive transition. I'm not too sure. Maybe fatigue and the travel and stuff is getting to them, but it doesn't seem like they're hustling back.
That foul was on Emily Garland. Borlase hits the first free throw. Got Dalmida out there as well for Sydney. Peggy Shell also out there, fighting for the rebound. Bourne gets the second offensive rebound in a row for Adelaide. They got another possession here. Foul on the reach-in. It's going to go against Martin. That's the fourth team foul on Sydney.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I can see that Martin was trying to increase some defensive intensity and put a little bit more pressure on the ball handlers for Adelaide. So unlucky there to get the foul. It wouldn't be really good for the Flames to get in to give Adelaide the bonus so soon in this first quarter.
Bourne getting aggressive. Blocked. A really nice play there from Dalmida. Good recovery on the drive.
Much better. Just using her length and getting her body in the right position. Doesn't have to be anything too fancy. Very nicely done.
And a great take on the other end. Nice catch for Dalmida rolling to the basket. She's fouled. She'll get to the line for a couple shots. And I like that from Sydney. Spreading the floor a little bit. Getting the big roll into the basket. Foul from behind. I think it's going to go on Izzy Bourne.
Yeah, much better execution there for the Flames. I think they were probably in their floor spots a lot better compared to other possessions to allow that pick and roll to happen. Probably still would have liked Peggy Shell just to be deep in that corner next time to really stretch the Lightning D.
1 of 2 for Dalmida. Flames are down 7, excuse me. I was looking at the 15 and I got myself confused. How about Bourne? I don't know if she's missed this shot yet.
Oh, I think she missed a three from the other side, but that was probably about it.
10 points the lead now for Adelaide. Izzy Bourne on fire. And Adelaide defending the ball really well. A lot of ball pressure from Adelaide. Martin making something happen, missed, gets her own rebound. Again, looking to spread the floor. Martin banks one well off, and here comes Pinot with it. Borlase spins, steps back, fires. That is smooth.
That was very smooth. Beautiful footwork there from Izzy Borlase. And look, to be fair, the Flames did the right thing to try and lock down her transition basket, but from the free throw line, Izzy Borlase makes that way too easy.
Martin under pressure. Comes off the screen. Dalmida can't catch this one. Borlase comes up with the steal. Nice kick ahead. Pinot catches, gathers, and lays it home.
Wow, again, Adelaide have just been so exceptional in transition. It looks like they're going to have nearly everyone certainly have multiple scorers on the board already.
Nice block. Here comes Adelaide again with numbers. Borlase for three. Another one falls. It is raining threes here for Adelaide. They're up 17.
Goodness me, I definitely did not predict such an electric start, pardon the pun, from the Lightning. I was wondering when a timeout was going to be warranted, though, from the Flames, and I think it's a great time given that big three from Borlase. Borlase now up to 12 points already with Izzy Bourne on 9. It's the 1-2 punch of the Izzies for the Lightning.
Well, not really what we didn't expect. The Bourne-Borlase combination is going to be a tough matchup for anyone here at Hoopsfest, particularly coming into the season. But Borlase, 12 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound. Let's look at the Adelaide numbers. 67, almost 67% from the field, 60% from three-point land. Those percentages are way too high, and you know Coach Garlip is going to be talking defense, particularly that transition defense in this timeout.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to know, it's hard to say, what kind of goes on court without actually being on court with the players, but I'm not sure if it's just a matter of miscommunication, fatigue, but yeah, the Flames are certainly losing the foot race there on defensive transition, so something needs to change. I wonder if Coach Garlip will even try a little bit of a trap in some situations just to try and chip away before this gets out to a 20-point deficit.
And let's give credit to the Adelaide defense as well, really making it difficult for Sydney, really closing down those lanes, denying any dribble penetration, and forcing turnovers as again Adelaide gets out and runs and scores. That one was too easy there for Graham. Lead is 19 for Adelaide. Nearly turned that one over as well. It goes out of bounds off Simon, so Sydney will have it in the front court, trailing by 19. Really difficult for Sydney to get anything going. Pittman had to force that one up. The defense from Adelaide has been really impressive. Simon gets her own miss. Ends up in the hands of Graham. Missed that long jump shot.
Nice ball movement there from Adelaide. I think the Flames need to take a page out of that book. They're very stagnant and very too much relying on that pick and roll, but there we go. That gets a nice backdoor cut there by Piper Anderson to break the scoring drought.
Yeah, really nice pass there as well. Pino missed. Recovered by Sydney, and here they come through the hands of Austin. Going to settle down into the half court. Sydney, good look inside. Dalmida strong on the layup. Here comes Adelaide running again. Ball just lost out of bounds. Kind of off the hip of Freer there.
Yeah, I think that's just the pass placement needed to be a little bit further ahead, but I guess it kind of bails out Sydney there. They were really chasing their tail to get back on D-trans again, so it's just lucky that Freer turned the ball over.
Pretty high scoring quarter here for Adelaide. They're up 17. Sydney forced the turnover. Let's see if they can capitalize on the offensive end. Let's see who they give this one to.
Looks like it's on Andrews again.
Yeah, it looked like Haley Andrews. I think that's her second personal. It's the Lightning's 4th team foul. Got a minute to go in the first. A nice deep three there from Mowbray. Big bucket there.
Yeah.
With under a minute to go.
Sorry, Mowbray. Can certainly get hot from the arc. Hopefully that will give the Flames a little bit more of a confidence boost.
Stepping beyond the arc, looking to answer, and doing so, Grace Graham. A big bucket and response for Adelaide. 17 points the lead for the Lightning. Good driving kick. Anderson's three touches the bottom of the net.
Oh, there we go. Now the Flames are starting to kind of connect the dots a little bit.
I don't know if they got an offensive foul. They looks like they did against Andrews. Here it is on the replay. That's a tough call if it went against Haley Andrews.
Yeah,
Lily Austin doing a good job getting in front, but
I think just catching Andrews on that follow through with her elbow extension. The referees have called it offensive foul.
Miscommunication there. Mowbray throws it out of bounds. So Adelaide could hold for the final shot of this first quarter. Andrews setting up play for Adelaide. Gets the screen, crosses over. Feet in the paint, goes up with the left hand short. Fight for the rebound. Andrews comes down with it, goes up with the left hand again. And she's fouled. She'll get to the line for 2 shots.
Yeah, and imagine Coach Garlop wouldn't be happy with that, giving up an offensive rebound and then a foul with the opportunity for free throws at the 4th quarter. Hopefully this will just be first quarter woes that the Flames saw yesterday against Perth, and they'll be able to tighten up in the next.
So Haley Andrews getting to the free throw line for a couple of shots. Andrews, player we're familiar with in Queensland. She had a great season for the Sunshine Coast Phoenix, returning from knee injury in her college career. So good to see her out there and playing basketball. Fortunately for Andrews, she missed both free throws, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. And you can't really criticize anything Adelaide did there. Got a 14-point lead. They outscored Sydney 30-16 in that first quarter.
Yeah, that is a huge first quarter, especially when we saw the Caps and the Spirit yesterday only had 33 in the first.
Anyone on this side? $1,000 is what we have to give with a half-court shot at halftime. But there's a way that we need to get you to decide.
But Sydney started getting going on the offensive end, but talk about getting going offensively. Izzy Bourne was on fire right off the bat for Adelaide.
Yeah, and if we have a look at the stats on the on the WNBL app, 15 of Adelaide's 30 points were all fast break points. So I know that we were harping on about defensive transition in that quarter, but I mean the stats don't lie, do they? And also 14 of those of the 30 points were in the paint. So Sydney need to kind of lock down on that dribble penetration. And certainly lock down on defensive transition, because that's where all of Adelaide's points are coming from right now. But Sydney on the offensive end, they did have good patches, as we see Sari Mowbray's 3 there. But I just felt like as the quarter continued, they just started to fall away from each other. They went away from team basketball. They were probably focusing a little bit too much on the pick and roll and relying on that, with the other shooters just standing and watching. I think if they were able to get a little bit more ball movement happening and a few more team concepts, they're probably going to stay in this a little bit more competitively.
I thought Adelaide defended really well, and you can see the intent right off the first possession, really looking to get out and put you under pressure early, and that is that modern basketball. Getting out, getting run. If there's an early basket opportunity, let's try and take advantage of it. If not, let's try and at least move the ball around a bit. And Adelaide, when they were running half court, got those paint touches. We saw a couple high post touches for Izzy Borlase. We saw Izzy Bourne cutting through the basket and getting the ball in her hands while moving to the basket. I was really impressed with Adelaide in that quarter.
Yeah, and going back to what you said, Hal, it's that modern style of basketball at the moment where you want to get out and run, you want to be making layups or 3-pointers. And if you look at this Adelaide roster, they are all capable of doing those things. So that's going to make them pretty hard to guard if everyone's committed to that game plan of get out and run or pull it back. Let's get some transition threes. I think for what I'd like to see for Sydney actually is any kind of shot attempt. They need some more bodies contesting the offensive rebounds, because if they don't get it, then they're in a better position to guard the closest person on defensive transition, and that can really just slow Adelaide down a little bit.
And I know Coach Garland swing the momentum or build a bit of momentum for themselves.
Yeah, and yet, like you said, it is full credit to Adelaide's defense so far, but you've got to try and make it a little bit harder for them to guard. So a lot more action off the ball, a little bit more cutting, and not just relying on that pick and roll.
Well, Anderson's going to get Sydney underway. And there is Barbara Anderson handing off from Mowbray. Now Martin coming off the screen from Liasu Asu. Good strong take for Ella Liasuasu there. Excuse me, that's Pittman. Apologies for that. But that's the basket that Sydney was looking for.
Yes.
And then a backcourt violation. So good start for Sydney coming out of the quarter time break.
And now this will be a great lesson for the Flames just to try and string a couple of these successes together. Try and get it back into single digits.
Martin gets the screen, resets. Anderson, quick catch and shoot three is off the front of the rim. Here comes Adelaide right away. You see them putting pressure on the defense. Good deflection by Martin. It goes out of bounds off of Sydney. It's going to stay with Adelaide. But better job in transition defensively for Sydney.
Much better job. Everyone on Adelaide was matched up in transition then. But Adelaide, I mean, anyone was playing the point guard there. They were just all in the right spots at the right time for each other.
Andrews blocked, but drew the contact before the block. And I like that aggressive take from Haley. She's looking to get involved offensively for Adelaide.
It might be a great lesson as well for the Flames guarding someone like Andrews. Andrews does a really great job of not only being able to penetrate, but just being able to hesitate, making sure she seeks contact from any kind of defender before she makes a play, puts herself in a good position, not only for scoring, but to getting that extra point at the free throw line. So good lesson here for the Flames to guard someone like that.
Haley, frustrated with herself, had missed the first three free throw attempts till she hit that second one there. 13-point lead for Adelaide. Anderson picks up the dribble. Liasuasu recovers it. And Martin steps beyond the arc, fires a three. It's short. That would have been a nice basket there for Sydney. And here comes Adelaide. Borlase, though, turns it over. Mowbray swings it to the corner. Sydney resets. Martin skips it. Mowbray, corner three. In and out. Borlase with the rebound. She's going to push up court. In a few dribbles. Gets it over to Andrews.
Yeah, shot clock must be well and truly into single figures now.
Borlase, the shot clock beater.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but that was a much better defensive set there for the Flames, having to force Borlase for the three, but, I mean, just even better offense.
Good response there for Sydney. Responding with their own three to the Adelaide three.
Yes, and now Sydney really need to get a stop. Like I said before, stringing those little successes together, those possessions together.
Nice look inside. Bourne missed the attempt. Pinot, though, gets the loose ball and is fouled.
And Pinot's someone that you've got to keep an eye on all the time. You can't let her out of your sight because she is really good at chasing or contesting the offensive rebounds, and she's really good at facilitating too. So a lot of times if she's getting an O-board and she hasn't got a straight put back, she's looking for the next person to cut off her to make an assist.
I'm looking at the score sheet, and it's showing 4 offensive rebounds for Adelaide. It feels like it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, and I think maybe because they're getting on a few loose balls as well, and you know, after a couple of their shot attempts, which obviously wouldn't count as offensive rebounds, but it certainly feels like they've been dominating the offensive possession as a whole so far in this game.
1 of 2 for Pinot. Adelaide up 13. Anderson sets. Martin will fire a 3. Loose ball corralled by Adelaide. Here comes Borlase, getting it back from Bourne. Sydney doing a better job defending that pick and roll. Another deflection and steal. Nice touch pass. There's beautiful transition basketball from Sydney in response. And Adelaide's seen enough. Coach Nat Hurst going to take a timeout as Sydney has chipped away at the deficit.
Yeah, that was a much better string of plays there from the Flames. If you notice on that last defensive possession, they at least had 3 in that second line of defense, so making sure they got a hand on that loose ball and being able to get out and run certainly works in the favor of this Flames team as well. They're all super athletic. They're all those kind of combo guard types. So, yeah, I would like to see them do that a bit more. comparatively to their other half-court offensive possessions, again, they've just gone away with trying to get 2 feet in the paint, and they've started to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, and got to give credit to Sydney's defense as well, doing a better job slowing down the transition opportunities for Adelaide, forcing them into some half-court, and really making the adjustment on those pick and rolls. We've seen them get deflections on at least 2 or 3 possessions, if not steals.
Because I think quarter-time Lightning only had 30 points already, right? So being able to hold them to only 4 points so far this quarter is a massive improvement on the defensive end.
Yeah, and again, Coach Garland definitely would be preaching defense. She does that no matter what. But when you open up with such a deficit like that, you know in the quarter-time break, she's going to be harping on the defensive side of things.
Well, look, to be blunt, if you don't play defense, you're not playing for Coach Garlop. So it's defense or nothing.
All right, well, let's see what Adelaide adjustments come out of this timeout as they lead by 11. It's the second night of Hoopsfest, Adelaide's first game of the tournament. Andrews gets it back from Freer. It's deflected out of bounds off of Anderson. Basham back out there for Adelaide. Enters to Andrews. Comes off the screen from Freer. Swings it back. Bourne 3 is up. I'm going to say it maybe touched the side of the rim.
Yeah,
we'll give her that. Hey,
that's not really like Izzy Bourne to shoot like that. But again, contested at least. At least it wasn't wide open this time.
Yeah, much better defense here in the second quarter for Sydney, and they're a little more efficient offensively as well. Really spreading the floor a bit. Putting on the floor, Phillips goes up with the left hand, rattles it in.
Yeah, nice high finish there for Phillips. Getting 2 feet in the paint again.
Basham pull-up jumper just inside the arc. It's a 2. But good response, and that's that transition opportunity that's been few and far between for Adelaide in the quarter. Three-point attempt off the back of the rim. Phillips. Here's Borlase with it, handing off for Basham. Coming off the Freer screen, steps back, fires. Feeling it.
Basham. She's a real playmaker. I hope that she gets a bit more time this WNBL season for Adelaide, because she works really hard in the off-season. She and the likes of Loz Mansfield have now started the Complete Athlete project in Adelaide, so they can start coaching and fostering the future. But Piper Anderson on cue, getting the Flames going with a 3.
Yeah, Piper Anderson is the now for the Sydney Flames.
That's right.
10-point deficit for Sydney. Adelaide in possession. Borlase, nice catch. Gets inside, reverses it. Bourne fires. That one's strong. Offensive rebound. How about the reverse layup there from Haley Andrews?
I think she's been watching a couple of Monique Babongi's reverse layups from yesterday for the Caps.
Yeah, it must be a North Queensland thing. Let's see how Sydney responds. Pittman now crossing over, going to the left, hangs and hits. That's a tough finish there for Carla Pittman. But Adelaide right down and responds. That's too easy for Andrews.
That's a beautiful pass as well from Basham. I mean, again, just demonstrating the varied skill set of this Adelaide team.
Foul inside. Martin got into the paint and drew the contact. She'll get to the free throw line, and let's see who the foul is on. Could be on a few different players. I'm going to say it went on Basham.
I'm not sure. I think it was on Freer, but we'll have to try and have a look on the box score here on the WNBL app. But again, another great read there for Martin, just being able to recognize the overplay on the pick and roll, and she's got the quickness to shake off the pick and find that open lane.
Hits both of the free throws as well does Caitlin Martin. So 10-point deficit for Sydney with about 4:20 to go in the first half. Adelaide just super efficient with the ball, moving it beautifully and ending up with a Sienna Greiger 3-point attempt.
Very good. Love that ball movement from Adelaide. They're certainly demonstrating in this first half their brand of basketball, I think, that we can expect for the WNBL season.
Anderson, really aggressive take. I love the read from Piper Anderson, responding well for Sydney.
I think Sydney, you know, they, like I said before, relying on that pick and roll a bit too much. Good take there from Anderson. We'd probably like to see the ball get through a few sets of hands a little bit more.
Sydney feels like they're trying to play up tempo as well, trying to respond in kind to Adelaide.
Yeah, but then I think they sometimes, they're not kind of moving off the ball, they're not letting the ball do the work sometimes, they're then just running to stops and just staying there. So for them to play up tempo, they have to keep the ball moving.
Do you want to see them play like Adelaide's playing?
A little bit, a little bit. I think they could probably take a couple of notes from how Adelaide's playing right now.
Lovely take and finish there from Grogger again. Really good read there from the 18-year-old. Horn swings it over to Phillips. Goes up with the right hand short. You know, now Basham with it. Goes to the crossover, steps back, jump shot is short. Beautiful offensive rebound. The putback falls as well for Freer.
Yeah, there was a lot of Flames players in that key, but they didn't box out well enough and they got punished.
Beautiful drive and take there from Pittman. She's been really good in this first half for Sydney.
Yeah, definitely. She's had 9 points now in this second quarter. And again, just a lovely read. The roller was well and truly guarded and her layup was wide open.
Looking to go coast to coast. Phillips, good contest there on the other end from Freer. And Adelaide with numbers now. Pinot, left-hand layup is strong. Offensive rebound, Basham. Now Borlée is going to reset in the half court for the Lightning. Gets the screen from Pinot, hesitates, kicks it to the corner, 3. Grogger is short. Pinot, offensive rebound again, missed. Tipped around, ends up with Borlée's short little jump shots, nice.
Yeah, that was almost like back to technique shooting as we would use in warm-up from that range. But Pinot, again, just on those offensive boards, if she's not getting a clean one, she's at least tipping it in the right spot to give her team the best chance of a possession.
Really good response there again from Pittman. Adelaide, though, 9 offensive rebounds up to this point in the game. That's a number for an entire game, let alone a half.
Yeah, that will be talked about at halftime for sure.
And there's another one recovered by Freer.
Yeah, again, Sydney doing a better job this quarter of getting in the right position defensively, but doing themselves no favors by not boxing out properly.
And here's the jump ball. Like the aggression there from Phillips to tie up Freer on the baseline. It's going to stay with Adelaide. Basham going to inbound for the Lightning. Goes right inside to Bourne. Now Borlée bounces it just a little too low for Bourne. That's a turnover.
Good idea, though. I think maybe Bourne was expecting Borlée to shoot that one, but the roll was certainly open.
Borlée's quiet 16 at this stage. Leads all scorers. Pass inside was a difficult one. Pinot read it well. They get a travel or a foul?
I'm not sure of the call.
I think it was a foul.
I think it was a foul, yeah. But yeah, that's a tough pass to make. You were well outside the three-point line trying to make a cross-court pass over 2 defenders. Probably, yeah, definitely not the best option.
Nice hesitation and a good finish. Nice take from Austin there. Sydney hanging around. They're only down 11.
Oh, yeah, they've done a really great job this quarter to fight their way back and make sure that 20-point lead wasn't a blowout. But Izzy Bourne has something else to say about that.
Izzy Bourne, another 3. She's into double figures now. And well read there by Bourne. Sydney turns it over. Let's see if Adelaide can make him pay. Pinot inside, good seal. Bourne with the left-hand finish.
Beautiful touch under the basket on the catch and the footwork to finish. That is bread and butter for Izzy Bourne.
Bourne's now at 13 points total. Lightning up 16.
And I think there's a foul there
Looks like it's
on
going against
Borlase.
Yeah, Izzy Borlase picking up the foul. Yeah, just got that reach in there.
Little bit too tempted there to try and snatch it out of the Flames' hands.
Shame, too, because she defended it really well.
Yeah.
Bounce pass inside. Now back out. Going to the rim and drawing the contact is Garland. Like the little crossover attack there from Garland. She'll be rewarded with two attempts.
She's very shifty, Emily Garland. You know, she's still, I think she was still playing youth league for the Sutherland Sharks, but she has played NBL 1 East for the last few seasons, particularly this season when the Sharks were waiting for some of their bigger names like Loz Nicholson to join the team. Garland had to step up, and she did a really great job leading her team, making sure that they put themselves in a great position to make the finals.
1 or 2 for Garland. Adelaide, you just see how quickly they get the ball up court. Borlase to beat the buzzer. Just a bit too strong, and that's going to do it for the first half. Adelaide up by 15. Sydney had a better second quarter, but Adelaide still maintaining that double-figure lead.
Yeah, Sydney came out a lot better in that second quarter. I think there was a long period of time in the first part where they held Adelaide to only 4 points. But I'm not sure, perhaps experience or subs or something, they just weren't able to maintain it. So that's a really important lesson for this young side. Being able to be consistent, the cliche of taking one play at a time and then just being able to string
in that first half, and lots of highlights, Jacinta.
Oh, absolutely. Adelaide are playing this beautiful brand of basketball, almost like a positionless brand of basketball, playing with a lot of freedom, a lot of movement, and certainly focusing on buckets and transition. They've got 19 fast break points, 26 of their 56 points are in the paint, but also, as we were saying off air, John, just dominating the rebound count. 15 defensive rebounds to the Flames 11 and 12 offensive rebounds, which really stings to only the Flames 1.
And the scoring is pretty top heavy for Adelaide. Izzy Borlase with 16 points, Izzy Bourne with 14, so 30 of the 56 for Adelaide. On the other side of things, Sydney being led, of course, by Pittman and Anderson. A really nice 1-2 combo. And Anderson, you see there, draining threes. She got started hot, and she kind of picked it back up in that second quarter. It was a very, very high-scoring first half.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, Adelaide had 30 points in just the first quarter alone. But it's really nice to see the likes of Pittman, who was a DP with the Flames last season, Anderson coming off a 26-point game yesterday against Perth, again leading the Flames from the front with the scoring. And certainly the timing of their scoring has been really important, because the Flames have had periods where they've gone scoreless and have been really stagnant, but it's great to see that they're injecting some energy.
It is halftime. We will take another quick break. We'll come back with the live action for you as the second half gets underway with the Adelaide Lightning up 56-41. as the Adelaide Lightning are leading the Sydney Flames 56-41. It is halftime out at Bendat Basketball Center. John Guarna here with Jacinta Govind on the call for you. And Jacinta, looking at the stats, you can understand why Adelaide is up 15. 53.5% from the field, and those rebound counts, I had to do a triple take to see if those numbers are right.
Yeah, I think, you know, we did say in the first quarter it did feel like Adelaide were dominating the offensive possession, or at least having most of it in the quarter. And I think when you've got 27 rebounds for the first half, that's probably why it felt that way. But yeah, 53.5% overall from the field is outstanding. Again, perhaps reflective of their transition game and everyone being able to score. So everyone on the Adelaide team has got some points on the board bar one, and I think that's the same with the Flames actually. But some of the outstanding players so far is Izzy Borlays with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and she's shooting at nearly 67% overall. And for the Flames, it's Carla Pittman with 14 points, 3 assists, and 4 rebounds. The shooting, though, for the Flames is certainly a lot better than yesterday. Against Perth, they had about 26%, and so far they're at 48.3%, so that's a big improvement.
Second half underway. It is Sydney with first possession, and they get a basket right off the bat. It's Ella Liasu-Asu. Nice set to start the half. Let's see if Sydney can get a stop on this end. Looking inside. It's not there for Bourne. Borlays gets it back. Nice backdoor cut, Andrews, and finishes strong.
Yeah, again, there's that beautiful ball movement there from Adelaide, and a lovely touch from Andrews under the basket.
Borlays just draws so much attention, and rightfully so. Ball deflected out of bounds off Adelaide's going to stay with Sydney. Martin going to inbound. Swings it, Martin catches. Step back, banks it home.
I thought that was looking a bit long off the hand, but yeah, managed to find the backboard. So you look, 2 points is 2 points.
Just right, if you're Pittman. Nice look inside, a good catch and finish there for Bourne.
Yeah, that was a great pass. I mean, Pittman had Bourne fronted there, but just able to outmuscle her and use her length to get that great catch.
Handoff, lost out of bounds, a miscommunication there. Pittman and Anderson just not on the same page on that handoff.
Yeah, I think they need to tighten up those little things. You know, I think you can't be too sloppy with handoffs and things like that in the WNBL level. The ball carrier needs to make sure that they're only stopping once they can know they've got a clear pass, and Piper Anderson needs to come a lot tighter off Pittman's shoulder to make sure she gets the handoff.
Here's the replay. Haley Andrews drawn a wall of defenders, and you could have given that one. I'm sure that one had to go against Phillips. And Andrews has gotten through the free throw line a few times here.
Yeah, that's what she does. And I love how she normally has that kind of hesitation dribble around that elbow or elbow extended area. And you just saw her hesitate. The whole defense shifted, and it was just like the seas had parted for her to make that layup on the right-hand side.
So after missing her first 3, Haley Andrews has hit her last 3 attempts from the free throw line. Her team is up 17. And there is Liasu-Asu again rolling to the basket. The pick and roll humming for the Flames.
Yeah, Caitlin Martin has really developed her game in being able to, her passing precision has improved a lot in the last 12 months.
More nice spin move and the soft touch with the right hand. Has to reverse it. 3-point attempt. That's another bank shot. Pittman has it going on tonight.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, 2 bank shots in a quarter, that doesn't happen very often, but it still counts.
Sydney, again, hanging around here, getting a steal. Good deflection from Liasu-Asu there. Nice hesitation from Pittman, short on the reverse. Don't mind the take, though.
No, not at all. Not at all. Especially pushing in transition, trying to put some pressure on Adelaide like they've done with Sydney all game. But I think now it's an offensive foul called here on the pick and roll attempt between Bourne and Andrews.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that was. I guess it's Izzy Bourne moving a bit.
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was on Bourne or Andrews, because I saw Andrews perhaps with a tiny elbow extension.
Hard to see it from the angle we've got here.
Yeah.
Double dribble called, though, on Caitlin Martin, so Sydney turns it right back over. Andrews is subbed out. Kelly's now on second personal. Basham back out there. Pinot. Now Simons. Goes up with the left hand. It's a good take, but strong on the attempt. Pittman keeping that dribble alive. Swings it. Martin gets into the paint and is fouled by Basham. Really nice rip and take there from Caitlin Martin.
Yeah, a lot better ball movement so far from the Flames as well. It almost looks like they're trying to do a bit of a dribble drive action at the top of the key, just trying to open up those scoring opportunities. So Martin there with a nasty looking scratch on her face too, showing some of the physicality out there today. But yeah, when you can execute that dribble drive action properly, you've got playmakers like Martin being able to find open lanes quite easily.
And that opens things up as well, that dribble penetration. Get some shooters in the corner. Sydney doing a good job executing. They struggled to start the game. They've really tightened things up in the last two quarters. Now, hands off. Good look inside. Bourne again. She is a tough matchup.
Yeah, Adelaide is still making great passes and Bourne's still making great catches despite the Flames fronting her down low.
Dalmida back out there for Sydney. Bourne now with it coming off. She was setting up the screen from Dalmida. Goes against it. Basham got a deflection. Pittman gets inside, goes up with the right hand. That's a nice finish.
Beautiful way. She used her body really well there to deflect Simons on her offside, and a lovely high finish for Pittman.
Yeah, broken play there, but Pittman makes something happen. Borlay's beautiful bounce pass, an easy left-hand layup for Pinot.
That was a beautiful dime for Borlay's.
Here comes Sydney right back. Yeah, poor Pittman got herself in a little bit of strife there, turns it over. Adelaide comes right back down. An aggressive take. It's a kick ball by Pittman.
But just, don't you love how quick Adelaide are up the floor? Straight away, they're onto that next play phase. The ball already, just over halfway, hit three different people. Basham, Bourne, Simons, looking there for Pinot. Just great team concept basketball.
I thought Sydney did a pretty good job there recovering defensively as well, turning it over on one end, so pretty good transition defense. But Adelaide just puts so much pressure on you. Now they're going to get the foul on Pinot. Scrapping with Shell on the rebound.
Yeah, I think Flames have started to now be a little bit more proactive on defense than being able to get to those passes a little bit earlier compared to what we saw in the first half.
Sydney Flames are trailing by 15 at the moment. It's a really young developmental group that they sent out to Hoopsfest. Pittman gets called for the offensive foul. I like the aggression.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, she's been so successful when she's trying to get something from the dribble penetration. So, I mean, you can live with that foul, I think.
Credit to Izzy Borlays, shuffling the feet, picking up the charge as well. Doing a bit of everything for the Lightning. Now Borlays with it. Pass deflected and stolen. Good hands from Pittman. She gets it back. Goes right at Borlays. Short with the right-hand layup.
I think she was a bit worried she's going to get blocked.
And that definitely shuffling of the feet there from Lily Austin, turning it right back over. But again, Borlay's presence felt on that attempt from Pittman.
Oh, yeah. Just having her around is intimidating enough sometimes.
Borlay's getting Adelaide set, crossing over, thought about the three. Gets it back from Bourne. Borlay's nice hesitation. Left-hand layup is short. Recovered and laid in by Bourne.
Bourne now up to 22 points in this game. She has just really come alive again in this third quarter.
Offensive rebounding, a strength here for Adelaide in this matchup. They lead by 17. Good drive and kick. Soft bank shot is long from Pittman. Here comes Adelaide out running. Borlay's stripped and stolen. Good hands there from Peggy Shell. Pittman again aggressive and a strong take over Simons.
Yeah, she is doing a great job finishing and just being able to get into the paint.
Pittman now has 21 points for Sydney and a timeout taken on the floor from Adelaide. Really good battle here. Sydney just refusing to go away. They trail by 15, but they're scrapping here.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 15. It actually feels a lot closer, and I think that the Flames are starting to equal out the momentum and the dominance that we've seen from Adelaide. I think they're probably stamping a bit more authority here in this third quarter. But to go with Pittman's 21 points, she also has 3 assists, 5 rebounds, and 4 steals, shooting at 69.2% overall. So she's certainly picked up the pace after a bit of a shaky first quarter for the Flames. Be interesting to see if Adelaide try and limit her touches a little bit more, or if they're just kind of going to let her do what she's going to do.
You forgot to mention Pittman, a perfect 3 of 3 from deep as well. So doing a little bit of everything and hitting shots from all over the floor. And she's been great defensively as well, really trying to be aggressive. We've seen her get a few deflections and a few steals. So a bright spot. We haven't seen a lot of Anderson in the second half. She started on the floor, but Coach Garland going with this younger group.
Yeah, I think so. It'll be interesting to see when Anderson comes back into the game. But, yeah, just going back to what you said about Pittman's defense, she was matched up against Izzy Borlays for a period of time there and was putting Izzy Borlays under a little bit of pressure, forcing Izzy to hold on to the ball a bit longer than I think she would have liked.
Bourne, the top scorer in the game. She's got 22 points. Adelaide turns it over coming out of the timeout. You know Coach Hurst ain't going to be happy about that.
No, I think Adelaide need to make sure that they don't go too wayward here in the third. It looks like we've got another timeout here on the floor. Understandably, 15 points is a pretty comfortable lead, and we know it's only preseason, but preseason is also a great time where you want to start cementing that high level of standard and consistency that you want to carry on into the regular season. So Adelaide just probably need to regroup a little bit here.
And here is Pittman showing some of the work she's doing with that beautiful layup. And look at the pass. I mean, Borlays, you can see why she was part of that Opals group over the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And a great opportunity to start planting the seed for someone like Borlays and Jade Melbourne, also the youngster in that group. They're going to be carrying the Opals for the next however many tournaments. So to get them a taste early at that level is really important for the program as a whole.
What do you think, Jacinda, about this Adelaide group when we look forward to the WNBL regular season? How do you compare them with some of the other groups that we've seen announced?
I think they're quite a versatile, well, I say they're versatile, but they all have very similar skill sets, but they're probably all different statures. I mean, Andrews is probably the one tried and true point guard of the squad. But yeah, everyone can play quite freely. Everyone looks like they're buying into the team concepts that Nat Hurst wants to play. I know that Nat Hurst wants to play a lot more read and react. As we see that, again, transition. That was Pinot, a forward, playing point guard to another forward. I think that's what we can expect. They've still got Brianna Turner and Steph Talbot to add to the mix as well. So Adelaide, if they keep this up, they're going to be pretty hard to beat.
in the Sydney group, of course, we mentioned it. They're bringing their development group here to the Hoopsfest. The Sydney Flames are going to look different when the WNBL regular season comes around.
Oh, they certainly will, yeah. You can expect Kayla George. She's obviously coming back. And we've got a couple of NBL 1 stalwarts as well joining the squad this season. So we've also got Celeste Taylor, who is still currently playing in the WNBA and was quite a high draft in the last drafting group. So it's going to be a really interesting mix. I think they've still got 2 more or a couple more players to announce perhaps, or maybe they've done the 2, but they've still got their 2 official development players. And the likes of Michaela Roof has gone from Townsville back to Sydney. So yeah, they're going to be pretty strong too.
It is going to be such a fantastic event, a great season. And I love the approach that the teams are taking differently here. You know, we see Adelaide coming with a fairly strong group, Sydney going with the development group. Just a really nice opportunity for players to compete, travel over to WA, spend a few days together. It's a really good bonding opportunity as well. Almost as much benefit from off the court as it is on the court.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes goes a little bit underestimated, how important it is for your team to have a bond and a good chemistry and a great culture off court, because that always translates on court. If you're able to understand someone as a person when they're not a player and have that respect, then that comes through when you play on the court together.
Beautiful block and a near beautiful play there for Freer. And I think this Adelaide group, for me, they have been super impressive. You see Simons come up with the steal and the layup. These players, though, are pretty familiar. A lot of the same players have been around together as a group.
Yeah, and they're all Adelaide locals. So Simons and Freer played for Forestville Eagles this year. Shout out to the Forestville Eagles fans out there who made the NBL 1 Central Grand Final. So again, it's just a great example of how important it is having a professional team and to create a pathway of some of your local athletes.
Good finish there from Dalmida for the Flames. Chase down the loose ball. Freer, another offensive rebound for Adelaide. Nice drive. Can't get the bucket to fall from Grieger. But she'll go to the free throw line for a couple shots with Adelaide up 17.
Yeah, I think Adelaide, to be fair, they've done a very good job. You know, they were out at 20 early in this game. Flames were able to get it back. Credit to Adelaide, though, just to be able to keep the Flames at arm's length and not letting them make this game too competitive. But the Flames, you know, they haven't really backed down. They haven't given up by any means. And there's still a whole quarter to go, and that can, you know, anything can happen.
And, of course, this is the first game of a back-to-back. We're doubling up. Got Bendigo and Townsville coming up after this one. That's
right. They also played yesterday, and they each won their respective games. I think this matchup is probably going to be a little bit closer compared to the games that we saw yesterday. So, yeah, don't go anywhere.
Still got plenty of basketball to play here. The Flames in possession. I thought it was going to be a turnover, but there's a foul on that one. It's Phillips. Right across the chops.
Yeah, it's a bit of a wake-up call there in third, but she's done a good job just to shake it off.
Fourth team foul on Adelaide. Sydney with another possession. Mowbray has it now. Crossing over to the right hand, picks up her dribble. That's a shot clock violation. Miscommunication there from the Flames.
Yeah, what's interesting about this 5 for the Flames at the moment, I think they're lacking a little bit of leadership. No Martin, no Pittman, no Anderson. The 3 that are probably more likely to set the tone and get people organised, and I think they're probably lacking a bit of leadership, and that's why they've probably got that shot clock violation too.
Orlays goes to the Euro. Just beautiful patience there. Footwork on point.
She freezes time. Like when she does those Euros, she has enough time to get in the paint, have a Euro, but then also like hang in there, put a pump fake in the air and still able to finish. Like that is a really, really great skill set to have.
Timeout on the floor, a 21 1-point lead for Adelaide. That Borlase layup was beautiful. See the little hesitation, goes to the Euro, hangs, and has the presence of mind to bank it as well. Looks like it was in slow motion, but it was just perfect.
Yeah, I think it is that change of pace that's really important in those plays that Borlase makes. So she was full pace. I mean, she was probably guarded a little bit too tight given how far away she was from the three-point line, but she was full pace, and then she has that really great ability of being able to slow it down and make sure she gets a good finish. If you're defending that, that's very hard to be able to anticipate.
Really good opportunity for Sydney to compete against an opal, a bronze medal winner.
Yeah, that's the same age as them.
Yes. I mean, you kind of lose that, don't you, in a sense with Borlase. She's been so successful in her career already at this point, and she's got so much more ahead of her.
That's right. She's still got to look forward to getting to the WNBA, as she was drafted in the last draft, along with Nadia Poch. So the WNBA is in her future as well. And, you know, we've got the 2026 Women's World Cup in Berlin, which is only 2 years away to look forward to. 2 years sounds like a long time, but in basketball years, it's actually not that long when you're going from comp to comp to season. So, yeah, there's a lot of ahead of for her, for Izzy Borlase.
It's going to be an exciting season down in Sydney. Flames fans, we want you to bring the heat this summer and sign up as a Sydney Flames member. Memberships start at just $39 or $99 for families. That is a bargain. Sign up at the Sydney Flames website. You'll get to see Piper Anderson and the crew down in Sydney. What an exciting season coming up. Jacinta, what are you looking forward to most? I mean, this has got me so excited for the WNBL season.
Oh, totally. And just off the back of the Flames memberships, like, it's always a great day out because even when they're not playing at Kudos with the Kings games, they're playing over at the Key Centre. You can make a really great day of it. And it just seems like a good game day atmosphere. They usually try and have a player signing at the end of each game as well, so there's heaps of opportunities to meet your favourite players. Can highly recommend getting a membership to any of these WNBL teams if you're able to.
And the season is just around the corner?
It is. It is just around the corner. I think we're about 6 weeks away from tip-off. The only thing that I am holding out for a little bit is that some teams still haven't announced their full rosters. And it's like, we just want to know. We just want to know what we're in for.
Well, I thought it was the timeout, but it's the start of the fourth quarter. It's now a 21-point lead for Adelaide. We're going to look inside. It's Bourne going to the left-hand pass. Basham three. Hits the bottom of the net.
Yeah, I want to see Brooke Basham get a little bit more involved in this fourth.
Martin swings it. Lost. Another turnover for Sydney. Here comes Adelaide in transition. Going up with the left hand and finishing strong, Izzy Borlase.
Yeah, that's tough there for Asher Phillips on defense, who she was the sole Flames player hustling back.
Anderson picks up the dribble, looks inside. Nice little hook shot, a little too strong there from Liasu Asu. Now Basham puts her head down, skip pass. Just the pressure that Adelaide, it's like wave after wave of attacks to the paint. Borlase again goes to the Euro, bank shot strong.
Gosh, that was around 3 people. I think other than that last play phase, I mean, again, Adelaide, it's just the ball and their bodies are constantly moving.
Pittman kicks it. 3 is up. It's short for Phillips. Here comes Adelaide. Good ball movement leads to Bourne. Dribble handoff for Borlase. Steps into a baseline jump shot, and she rolls it in.
Gets the friendly roll. She can be pretty deadly from that short corner position. Then again, we've seen her be successful from pretty much everywhere on the court.
Borlase now has 22 points. just a bit behind Bourne with 24. Nice bounce pass. Reverse layup doesn't fall for Pittman, but she's fouled. She'll get to the line for a couple shots. Sydney's found some success on those baseline cuts.
Yeah, when they're moving a little bit more off the ball, being able to shift the Adelaide defense, they give themselves much better scoring opportunities.
Pittman leads the Flames now with 22 points. A very efficient 9 of 13 from the field. Only her first free throw attempts, though, and hits them both. Immediately, right away, Adelaide up court in 2 passes. Missed an open 3. Phillips goes to the crossover. Corner 3 is short from Anderson. Basham crosses over. Lost it off her leg. She wants the ball back. Referees see it differently.
Yeah, not a bad take, though, from Basham. Probably a tiny bit too early in the offense, but if she had that one-on-one opportunity. Yeah, see, she caught Asher Phillips. You know, Asher Phillips wasn't really in her defensive stance at all, so worth a shot there for Basham.
Pittman handing off for Phillips. Goes right at the defense, draws the foul on Freer.
I like the idea there for Phillips as we have a look on the replay. She got to a decent spot, but it would have been great to see she had the middle lane open, a spin move, a counter move, just to add some variation to her existing skill set.
Looking at the team stats, and if we're going to be critical for Adelaide at all, it's probably at the free throw line. Only 8 of 14 from the charity stripe. You look on the other side of things for Sydney, much more efficient, 12 of 15.
Yeah, that's a much better percentage, 73.3%.
Three-point shot is off there from Grieger. Sydney tried to attack in transition, but Adelaide did a good job recovering. Pittman goes to the left hand. What a finish.
Wow, I don't know how she found a gap there in between two. Be good to have a look on the replay on that one, just because I think there was a little bit of a hezzy, which kind of put... Let's have a look here. Because she has Basham guarding her. So there's a bit of a tangle up there with a screen, but not a screen. But yeah, just that hesitation making Simons have to commit to Anderson. Which, look, if you're Simons, you've got to commit to Anderson, given that she's a three-point shooter. So that's a bit of a tricky position there, but beautiful finish there for Pittman.
Yeah, it's a really good read as well, that crossover and going to the left hand. Pittman's been super impressive. She has been, for me, the standout for the Flames so far tonight.
Oh, definitely. And, you know, we say that she's still one of the emerging talents. She's played pretty consistently well in NBL 1 East with the North Bears for the last few years, and she was able to showcase some of the talent we're seeing today at NBL 1 Nationals last year. But yeah, I think what I'm really impressed with by Pittman is that she's been able to back up this performance. She had 14 points yesterday against Perth, and she's been able to do it again, if not arguably even better, against a tough team like Adelaide. So yeah, she has 25 points, 3 assists and 6 rebounds, and she still has 4 steals as well, with 71.4% from the field overall. So this is an excellent stat line from Pittman.
Carla Pittman, top scorer in the game now with 25 points. Izzy Bourne just behind her with 24. Sydney, though, down by 23. It's been really all Adelaide from start to finish here, and a lot of that is through the offensive rebounding. Just wave after wave of Lightning players attacking the glass. Good drive by Phillips. She's gotten aggressive here in this fourth quarter. She'll get to the line again for a couple shots.
And rebounding overall, Adelaide now on 38 rebounds for the game, compared to Sydney's only 21. So absolutely dominating, and that includes 15 offensive rebounds for Adelaide. Their fast break points has certainly slowed down. I mean, they're still looking to attack, but 23 points for the game in the fast break, 46 points in the paint.
46. That's a really nice balance for Adelaide in the fast break and points in the paint as well. And the shooting, they're still shooting at 52% and a really solid, just about 37% from three. So Adelaide has really been well balanced across the board. Obviously led by Borlase and Bourne, but that's what you expect out of two of the top players in the competition, particularly here at Hoopsfest.
Oh, absolutely.
There's Pittman on screen having a laugh. Lost it out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Adelaide. And again, just a fantastic opportunity for these young players to come out, travel out to the West, have a couple of days to get to know each other and play some good competition. Good finish there from Andrews. Here's Anderson taking a bump. Phillips with the left-handed short. Bourne, he goes to the Euro with a left-hand scoop finish.
I wonder if these Adelaide players are just having indie sessions and working on their Euros.
It's a go-to move. Everyone's got it in the bag now. Who do you give credit to for that one? I think I've seen people credit Manu Ginobili for the explosion of the Euro step in all levels of basketball now.
Oh, look, you're probably right, to be honest, but it'd be so hard to try and trace back something like that to who really made such a move, a landmark move in basketball.
Three-point attempt. Another big hit there. What a shot for Grieger. Adelaide. Do they have time? There's 4.5 minutes to go. It's a very high-scoring affair.
Yeah, that's right. I think the Flames have really let this one kind of slip away out of their hands, as particularly from the start of this fourth quarter.
Beautiful ball movement again, and a great read from Bourne. Can't finish, though, with the right hand. Sydney, if they push, has numbers. Nice touch pass, a great catch and finish there for Phillips. She's been working hard in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's certainly has. They've been getting a lot of reps up and down the floor. Coach Garlop rewarding her with a lot of court time here in the fourth. I think it's a great timeout. I'm not too sure if it was called by the Flames or the Lightning, but both teams are just starting to lose their way a little bit here in the back of the fourth, getting a little bit scrappy, a little bit passive. So it's a good timeout just to reset everything.
Yeah, about 4 minutes to go in this one. I'm not ready to, I mean, we might have to call it, but it's still a lot of basketball to be played. Adelaide still looks like they're going to roll with Izzy Bourne out there at the very least. And Sydney, they have struggled a bit, particularly from the three-point line, only at 33%, so 1 of 3 from, on average. But it's that offensive rebounding. That was the one that was the real killer. There was multiple possessions where Adelaide had 2 or 3 goes at it, and you give any team those number of opportunities, and it's going to be difficult for you.
Yeah, and that includes 15 second chance points and 20 points from turnovers. So Coach Garlop saying in their post-game press conference that her team can't afford to get away with mistakes that they normally would back home. And I think sometimes like points from turnovers is a bit reflective of that as well.
Adelaide will come out of the timeout with possession. Pino skips it. Well read, and a good steal there from Austin. Stops. I thought she was going to step through, but they'll reset. Here is Pittman. Good ball movement. 3 is up. That one's long for Mowbray.
Much better ball movement on that possession from the Flames.
Flames pick up a turnover. Skip pass, Austin. Resets. Pittman swings it. Austin, 3 is good.
And I really like on both of those possessions from the Flames, they look to run. They recognized very early that they didn't have a transition bucket, and showing that maturity of pulling it back and setting up something in the half court.
Good, beautiful basketball there from Adelaide, and Andrews the beneficiary.
Oh, yeah, I love this high post action we're seeing at the bottom of the fourth with Georgia Pinot and Izzy Bourne. Getting a lot of great cuts and a lot of great looks.
Andrews comes up with the steal, fakes the pass, and lays it home. Haley Andrews settling into a really good flow. She started a little shaky, but has really found her game.
Yeah, and I think her brand of basketball changed a lot when she went to college. So it might be a bit of an adjustment for her again to get used to Nat Hurst's style and system, but it doesn't look like it's taken that much adjustment for Andrews. But Lily Austin getting hot from the arc now.
Yeah, back-to-back threes for Austin. She's definitely shooting the ball with confidence. Austin 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of those 3 shots from the three-point line there in the fourth quarter.
And it looks like Emily Garland now has come on in the last couple minutes of the fourth for Pittman, so I imagine that will be the last that we see of Pittman for this game.
Yeah, but might not be the last we see of her, definitely not in this preseason, and she may potentially be looking at some minutes with the Flames.
I hope so. I hope she can retain her DP spot like she from last year.
Austin goes behind
Wow.
the back. A great look for Mowbray to finish.
Austin getting on the highlight reel here in the fourth quarter.
Why not show out in your minutes on the court? Austin having herself a quarter here for sure. We were talking about the three-point shot. We didn't know that she had that behind the back in her bag.
In transition as well. That was really impressive.
Great look there for Austin, and a nice little highlight there for the Flames. Here's Pinot now. Handing off Borlase, goes to the teardrop. It's off the back of the rim. Delmeda with the rebound, and Austin has it for the Flames. Nice cut, good deflection from Borlase. It's going to stay with Sydney.
A nice read there from Garland as well. That was the right cut to make, and not a bad look for the Flames.
Inbound. Ends up with Austin. She wants a screen. Gets one from Delmeda. She'll step into another three. A little bit of a heat check there from Austin. She's earned it.
Yeah, that's right. 3 ball this time off the dribble. At least it was open though, so not a bad take.
No, not a bad take at all. Late in the shot clock as well. But now at the elbow extended. Swings it, Bourne, top of the key, 3. She hits.
Beautiful execution. I'm loving the look of Pinot in this mix as well. She's a really great role player for the Lightning, and perhaps something that they were missing last season, actually. She's going to be a great anchor in this next WNBL season.
Kind of player doesn't necessarily need a lot of shot opportunities, just does everything that you ask her and then some. Tough look there from Mowbray. Rebound to Andrews. Kicks it ahead early. Basham stops, fires and hits.
That is a hot take there from Basham. I love to see that, especially deep in the fourth.
And the Lightning hit triple digits. Their lead is 29. Foul before the pass. It's going to be the 4th team foul on the Adelaide Lightning, so Sydney will inbound.
Again, another nice look there from the Flames. Lily Austin, lovely change of pace. It's a shame there was a foul because Peggy Shell was wide open for that 3 in the corner.
Barry Shell with it now. Hands off for Garland. Back to Shell. Lost out of bounds. There's 5.5 seconds to go. A really, really impressive performance here from Adelaide right from the start. I love the scrap from this Sydney group, though. They have played their tails off.
Yeah, they certainly have. Big
hit by Mowbray.
I think that was a bit of a hope and a prayer, but look, it still went in. I think that was technically a buzzer beater as well. Nice little teardrop from the arc.
good way to finish there for the Sydney Flames, but the Adelaide Lightning will win their first game of Hoopsfest. It was a big win for the Lightning, 102-76, and the two Izzies lead the way as we expected.
Oh,
Jacinta.
yeah, that's exactly right. Izzy squared. We've got to come up with some kind of nickname for the two Izzies because they're going to be in the same sentence a lot this season. But Bourne having 29 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals, shooting at 65% overall, which included 3 from 6 from the arc. And then Izzy Borlase had 22 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 2 steals. She shot at 56.3% overall, including 50% from the arc. Andrews, though, bit of a slow start. She ended up with 15 points and 7 rebounds. And Basham ended up with 12 points as well for Adelaide. But each team, everyone on each team getting on the score sheet. And for the Flames, it was Carla Pittman who had 25 points, 4 assists, 8 rebounds, and 4 steals. And Piper Anderson with 12 points and 2 rebounds. But yeah, everyone getting on the score sheet, everyone contributing in a lot of different ways. Adelaide, from the very start, as we could see, getting out and running with their fast break points.
And here's the game highlights, and you can see Pittman was huge for Sydney. She was fantastic. Didn't get the help that she was after. Martin, I thought, had her moments as well. Liasu Asu had some moments as well. Piper Anderson started off really well, but this Adelaide group is going to be difficult out here in Hoopsfest, led by Izzy Borlase and Izzy Bourne.
Yeah, like we said, still Bree Turner and Steph Talbot to add to the mix, but this positionless style of very free read and react type basketball from Adelaide, if they can cement that and have that, you know, like at this high standard that we saw today, it's going to be really hard to scout for other teams and going to be very hard to guard. So I'm really looking forward to how Adelaide is shaping up. I think in the last couple of seasons they've played really well, but just haven't been able to close out games. So I think that will be a big focus going into the regular season. And for the Flames, absolute wild card because their full roster is still to come.
Adelaide shot 53.8% from the field, 43.5% from 3. We harped on it a little bit, but 17 offensive rebounds for Adelaide. That led to second chance points of 15 points, but also they did a really good job in that fast break, particularly in that first quarter. They finished with 30 fast break points, and the final score, you see it right there, 102-76 for the Adelaide Lightning over the Sydney Flames. That's going to do it, but we do have another game coming up for you shortly. It's going to be the Bendigo Spirit taking on the Townsville Fire. For my co-commentator, Jacinta Govid, I'm John Corner. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to Hoopsfest out at Perth, Western Australia. We'll be back with you for the next matchup shortly.